Thank you for tuning into the Golden State Media Complex Football Podcast, where we talk the latest news, rumors, and games of the NFL and college football, from the latest signings to this year's breakout stars and all the news in between. Hello there, I'm Jeremiah.
I am Alex, always and forever here with Jeremiah.
Always and forever, man.
Yeah. Do you know how are you doing today?
I'm doing good.
Do you know what today is?
I do not. Wednesday?
Hump Day.
Hump Day?
No, it's actually 50 years ago today, the NFL and the AFL merged and became one league.
Wow.
Really important.
Wow. That was 50 years ago today?
This report was telling me, now, I know that the league merged in, I want to say, 69, 70, so I'm kind of confused.
Yeah, I thought it was 1970,
I'm kind of confused as to what they mean by that, but if they mean 66, that's when they really started poaching each other's players and really started towards what we know now as the merger. So let me make sure some of you guys can fact check on that exact news.
Yeah, you can email us. No, I'm kidding.
You could if you wanted.
Yeah.
You have to find out our emails on your own, though.
Yeah.
But we have an interesting set of news for you guys today, including the Broncos White House trip, Roman Harper returning to the Saints, and a fun little tidbit here to end the day off with some Twitter stuff.
Yeah,
so if
social media.
Yeah, some social media. So if you want to introduce the first bit of news today, Jeremiah, go right ahead.
Yeah, the Denver Broncos paid a visit to the White House on Monday to celebrate their Super Bowl victory with President Barack Obama.
Yeah, the annual Super Bowl winning trip. Very exciting. John Elway was happy to go back. Last time he was at the White House, he got food poisoning and threw up. So he was excited to go back and kind of do it right, I guess you could say.
Yeah, and I think this is the last year that team's going to visit Obama too, as well. As with the elections coming up, but that's a different topic for a different show. But he had Obama had a little bit of fun saying that the kicker Brandon McManus saying he was a heart and soul of the offense. I thought that was hilarious. And then he actually received a jersey with the number 44 and a helmet, saying, "Oh, I need a helmet. I get kicked around in here a lot in Washington." So I had a little bit of fun there. Yeah, it's nice to see that.
Yeah, I like that they give them the jerseys and everything. That's cool. I like that they go and do that.
But
go ahead.
But of course, Brock Osweiler was missing.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
What's what I'm looking for? He decided not to attend.
Yeah.
He's not part of the team anymore.
Yeah, he's not. But there were some departed players that did attend. Like Vernon Davis, Ryan Clady, Danny Clady,
mm-hmm.
Danny Trevathan, who plays for the
where did
Bears?
He go?
Did he play for the Bears?
I will look to make sure, but go ahead and keep listing, and I'll look.
Yeah. And then Ryan Harris.
Yeah, now with the Steelers.
Yeah, they were all there except for Brock Osweiler, who is with the Texans.
Yes.
And he participated in OTAs. Mm-hmm. He said that was more important, which I kind of understand where he's coming from
understandable,
that point of view.
Especially with the new team. Yeah. I mean, yes, you were correct. James Trevathan does play for the Bears.
Oh, cool.
So
sweet.
Right on there. I mean, what do you think? Do you think that was what do you think that was the right choice by Osweiler?
Yeah, I can understand his reasoning towards it because, you're in a different system, different team. You got to get, accumulated with your new teammates.
It's funny, too. I never really thought about it until now, but he went back to Gary Kubiak's old team.
Yeah.
I
know.
Long time.
It's hilarious.
Long-time Texans head coach. Not hilarious, but I get what you mean. Yeah, that's ironic,
it's ironic. That's what I meant.
Kind of ironic, I suppose. But and Peyton was there, yes, I would imagine.
Yeah, Peyton was there.
I think Obama made fun of him a bit too. I think.
Yeah, saying you can sell everything in your household, and this is because of this guy, something like that. I think that's what that's kind of like a synopsis of what he said about Peyton Manning. But but more importantly, do you think they can repeat as champions this year?
I don't know. They have obviously very good defense. I think the defense is going to be key for them to win games. I think the AFC West is a good division.
It's a lot tougher this year.
Yeah, I think that obviously the Chiefs won 10 straight games last year and made the they made the playoffs. Yes, because they lost to the.
You got the Raiders
Patriots.
Who are on the rise.
Raiders are on the rise, and
Chargers.
then you can never count the Chargers out.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be harder for them. I feel like. Also, it's gonna be harder for them to get that number one seed in the AFC again with so many teams on the rise. I think that there's going to be a battle for them to even win that division. So
I think he might be about to even get a wild card spot.
That's what I mean. Yeah. If they don't win that division, I mean, you can. You've seen it before where two teams are real high in the division, and you have it's like it happens a lot with the AFC North, and it did this year with two teams coming out of the AFC North, and one of them has multiple, has a good record, and they're a wild card team. So I think it can be. It looks. I mean, not only does it look hard for them to repeat with all the questions they have on offense as well.
Especially at quarterback.
Exactly. I'm not going to sit here and say they are the, not what I'm looking for. They are the, automatic. Let's give them the crown of the AFC West already. I think they're gonna have to fight for it.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough year for them. I know they got most of their players still on defense. Like Von Miller, who, he got that deal proposed today, but they didn't agree upon it.
This deal proposed yesterday.
It was proposed yesterday.
But they had a 10 p.m. deadline, wasn't agreed
upon, yeah.
It got retracted.
They still got, Aqib Talib coming back, despite what happened to him over the past few days.
Mm-hmm. Still the secondary is still intact.
Yeah.
Very good secondary.
There, yeah. I think Brandon Marshall's still there, linebacker.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They have some young guys in the linebacking core.
Yeah, they do.
From this area, as a matter of fact.
Exactly. Tall Davis.
I saw you talking about that the other day.
Yeah, Tall Davis from Sac State, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then, of course, the D-line is still pretty solid, even though it's not as intact. But that secondary is really what runs that team with Chris Harris, Bradley Roby, T.J. Ward, Aqib Talib, number of guys there that are really, when you have a good secondary, it negates not as strong of a pass rush and, not as great of a defensive line. So I think the defense is obviously going to be good.
Yeah, they're going to be in some games because of that unit.
It's just, I've seen good defensive teams and not great offensive output, and defense can only win to championships.
Yeah, they can do so much.
No offense, they can only do so much.
Yeah, they can do so much.
And that being said, I mean, who knows how this offense is going to be? I'm not saying it's going to be like the league's worst. Who knows what Sanchez or say Paxton Lynch somehow gets that start, or Simeon. Yeah, as we talked about the other day on the episode, who knows who what it'll look like with that quarterback and who will start and so on and so forth. So I think that they definitely are going to be a favorite heading into the season because of that defense, but it's really going to come down to that offense, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I just want to know who this quarterback in battle kind of intrigues me a little bit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because, you got Trevor Simeon, who is a dark horse candidate, mm-hmm. Paxton Lynch, who is a draft pick, and Mark Sanchez, who is presumably – He's a presumptive
team snaps.
Yeah, he's a presumptive starter as of right now.
Mm-hmm.
So who do you think is going to win this?
I want to say Sanchez.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I want to say Sanchez, and I want to say Simeon will probably dress as the backup for the first few weeks.
Yeah, I can. Okay.
Because I think if I'm the coach, it's smarter with the defense you have that can keep you in these games to not rush your draft pick. And I think Sanchez is we've seen what he's done with really good defenses.
Yeah, his first 2 years, a matter of fact.
Exactly, yeah. Back-to-back AFC Championship games, and this is better than I want to say any of those Jets defenses.
This defense is like the best defense he's had.
Mm-hmm. And it's the same thing too when you say like a good defense can carry you in games, but it can't always win you every game. It's the same thing when a good offense can't always win you games with a bad defense. And Sanchez has been a part of some decent offenses that the defense, decent offenses that the defense hasn't really been as good. In certain years there with the Eagles, his first couple of years, there were some good pieces there in the offense, and he
has some good
didn't
pieces
play
now.
Amazingly, exactly, but he's got a great offense in terms of the receivers, some good running backs there in the backfield, a great tight end. If Malone Daniels isn't there anymore, but.
They got Virgil Green as a tight end.
He's a serviceable tight end.
He's pretty solid.
Mm-hmm. And then
what they do.
The offensive line is getting better. So hopefully, I think Sanchez with the experience and the ability and known not known outcome, but known how he plays with good defenses behind him. He doesn't, at least when he does, he seemed to limit turnovers. He seemed to be serviceable and take what they give him and such. Even though he did play really well that second year, they went to the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, that was and then
really
surprisingly they got to the playoffs his first year, rookie year.
Yeah, I'm saying back-to-back AFC Championship games.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he went back-to-back, and I think the defense was a big part of that.
Oh, it was.
So I think Sanchez, with what people know about him and how he plays, I think I think Sanchez will take it.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to let the butt fumble go. So he has to put together a.
I hate the butt fumble. That's such a. I mean, it's very embarrassing.
It's probably still the worst play in the NFL. And the past few years.
What about that fake, weird fake punt by the Colts?
Oh, by the Colts, yes. I totally forgot
There's
about that.
There's some bad plays every year.
Yeah.
So I think the butt fumble, it's just whatever, man. Yeah. Like, I'm always like, oh, shut up. Like, I remember watching that, too.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, whatever.
That was a Thanksgiving game. That was a Thanksgiving game, too.
Against the Patriots a couple years ago,
Yeah, that was a very funny treat to watch with the family. No, I'm kidding.
I didn't laugh. Okay. I was just more like, how did that happen? How did you fumble
that?
I
thought it was funny.
I was just sitting there. I was like, how did you fumble that?
Like, how do you run into your own guy?
Well, I get that. I mean, especially with a lot, like, you see running backs running in the back of offensive linemen a lot. I just don't see how he ran with so much force that it knocked him down.
Yeah, I know.
And then fumbled it.
Yeah, I know.
But I digress.
Okay.
We'll take a quick break here. The Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast. And we have some news of the defensive variety over in the NFC South. Yeah, I would say South with the Saints. So we will be right back here at the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast. Don't go anywhere.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Welcome back to the GSMC Football Podcast and news out of NFC South. Roman Harper is returning to where his career started, the New Orleans Saints, in a undisclosed deal, I believe. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he's coming. Yeah. I don't think they were released, but yeah, he's returning to where it all started.
Which is, I mean, that sounds good to me.
After spending 2 seasons with the Carolina Panthers, he was actually a key part of last season. You know,
him and that gray hair of his.
Yeah, gray hair.
Man, that's some gray hair. That is some
33 years old, and he looks like he's 45, maybe close to 50. But still, he still pretty solid.
Yeah, he had a good year last year. Yeah. Like we said, he had played all 16 games with the Panthers there. He 2 years with the Panthers, excluding all of his time. I think I want to say 7 years. Yeah, 7 years with the Saints. Played 16 games back-to-back seasons. Better year last year than even the year before, except for he didn't log an interception last year as opposed to in 2014 he had 4. So
that Josh Norman got all the interceptions for that defense.
The first 5 weeks. Yeah. People were like, I'm not throwing at that guy anymore. Yeah. But his numbers were pretty even. 62 to 73 tackles, 23 to 27 assists, 1 sack in the year before. And then, like I said, he had the 4 interceptions. But, I think he played a little bit more of an in and out kind of role. He came in, he came out kind of deal. I don't think he played every game, he started every game, but I don't think he was, every down kind of guy.
No, but he did play a key role in that defense.
He really, he did. And I think it's a plus with him coming back to the Saints to kind of help with that backside of the defense because
they've been abysmal. Yeah, abysmal secondary.
It wasn't very good.
Yeah, and with Jarius Byrd, who hasn't lived up to his contract that they paid him for.
And Kevin, I think. Vaccaro? Or Kenny
Vaccaro.
Kenny Vaccaro. Kenny Vaccaro,
I was like,
yes.
Who's Kenny? I was like, who's Kevin Vaccaro?
Yeah, Kenny
I don't know who that is.
And
I was like, who this? No.
Yeah, I know.
New phone, who this? No, I'm kidding.
My bad, man.
I'm kidding.
But yes, Kenny Vaccaro playing safety as well. I think that's just kind of showing that they're bringing in Roman Harper. He's going to be a guy that plays
kind of like a mentor role.
Yeah,
that not only that, but he's also going to be in and out.
Yeah, and Vaccaro has that ability too to play kind of the way that Tyrann Mathieu plays.
Yeah,
where he can come down to the box as well. So I think that they'll use them very, what's the word I'm looking for? Cleverly.
Yeah.
I think the way they'll use him is going to be obviously not every down kind of thing, like I was saying, but I think they will use him in very clever ways because they can deploy 3 safeties, and one of them, Vaccaro, who's a lot. he's a smaller guy. He's more, I would say, probably the jitterbug of the three, athletic kind of guy. So I think that gives him some options in the back end of the defense there.
Yeah, don't forget they have the corners and then New Orleans too.
You say new corners?
No, not new corners. They also have those corners too in the secondary at New Orleans.
Do you mean like two specific guys or?
Yeah,
what do you mean?
The one that got injured, I can't name him on top of my head right now.
I will look.
Yeah.
I'm going to say because I know there's off the top of my head I'm going to try to remember, but their secondary was their issue last year.
Yeah, it was very
their defense. I mean, you can just look back at the the game against the Giants that Eli had all those touchdowns against. And I mean, and I think they ended up winning that game though, the Saints. But yes, I know what you mean. The secondary, as I'm looking it up right now, training camp, the rosters. There's a guy too I should know because he's a Steeler.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head, I forget. Let me go ahead and do position. So they have Delvin Brew, undrafted guy. Tony Carter.
Oh, Keenan Lewis. That's what I was
Keenan
thinking
Lewis.
Of. Yeah, that's the thing.
He played for the Steelers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have very proven corners. Yeah. They really don't. So I was confused. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, Keenan Lewis. That's the guy.
He's not bad.
Yeah.
I thought he was better as maybe not your number one guy, but somebody would come in. They have Keenan Lewis. He's been in the league for a while now, too. 8 years. Out of Oregon State.
He was the name I was thinking of. I couldn't think of it on top of my head.
Yeah, I should have remembered. It's okay. I should have remembered that. But he's kind of.
I should remember that.
Well, I mean, as a Steeler fan, he used to be with the Steelers, so I should have recalled that. But and then they did draft P.J. Williams in the second round, I think. No, a couple years ago. But I forget what round he was drafted out of Florida State. Not a bad player there. So and Kyle Wilson also on the opposite side from Boise State, but he's been with the team for a while now. But they don't really have I don't know, honestly, in my opinion, if Keenan Lewis is a number one corner, like the way he plays. He's a good, serviceable corner, but you're right, he did get hurt.
Yeah, that's been his kind of problem.
Since getting to New Orleans, it's been his issue. So if they can kind of shore up that secondary, they have a really good defensive line. Yeah. Cameron Jordan's one of the best at his position in the whole league. I think if they can help that out, I mean, they were in some games that they shouldn't have been in with that defense just because of that defensive line. So I think that if they can stay healthy in the secondary, I think this could help them, and who knows if they're, the more and more they're going to do in the secondary as the year gets going, in the mini camp and training camp and so on and so forth. So
yeah, and they're going to need to play well with their quarterbacks in that division. Got Cam, Matt Ryan.
And I guess Jameis
Winston, I think he's going to be pretty good.
I mean, he had a good year. Yeah, I'm not sold on him yet, but that being said, that doesn't mean I won't be. Yeah. So, I mean, he did have some interesting stats last year, and he played well. I thought he ran a lot more than I had seen from him. I mean, he did run a lot, so for the most part with Florida, but he had like 5 rushing touchdowns last year. He had a lot, and I like every time I saw it, I was like, man, it was like in a couple weeks span too. I was like,
I know Cam had like 200. I'm kidding.
Cam Newton seems like he has more rushing touchdowns than most of the running backs in the NFL.
I think I think that's actually legit true.
Oh no, there's running backs. He had more. Yeah, I don't know if he had more or less than Jonathan Stewart, but he had some. He had some numbers, and yes, James Winston had 6 touchdowns on the ground.
I don't remember him running for that many touchdowns at Florida State. Like, I knew he was an athletic quarterback coming in.
You remember that rush he had where he totally set that guy up and then just juked him out of his shoes?
Oh, when he was at Florida State? Yeah.
Yeah, you remember that one? That was, I'd say that was impressive.
Are you sure that wasn't Cardale Jones?
No. Cardale Jones had one similar.
But you know what play? Okay. But... Oh, you know what? Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, okay.
No, yeah.
I'm thinking of the Cardale Jones play from
last season.
No,
I know what you mean. That one was good too, but no, I'm talking about the one where he it was like the first game of the year, and it was a touchdown run, and he just juked the dude out of his shoes and ended up scoring. But to answer your question, Cam Newton, I'd say last year he only had 2.
He had 2?
No, this is after. This must be a game. I would say this is not. This must be the postseason or something. Yeah, let me go to regular season stats. I was
come on, there's no way. I was like, wait, you have more than 2.
Okay, so he had 6. He had 10. Jonathan Stewart had 6. So he did, and he had 100 less attempts than Jonathan Stewart, too. But he does kind of, if you look at it, he had 300-plus yards less. So if you look at it, he is kind of almost their goal line back in a sense with how he is used. And I think, Cam Newton probably has more rushing touchdowns than a lot of people in the league.
Yeah, definitely a lot of running backs.
Every running back on his team.
Yeah.
So, but we're going to take one last quick break here at the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast, and we have some fun news. Well, it's not
some
weird news, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess
it's not funny.
It's not funny, but we have some interesting news, I suppose we should say, coming from the world of Twitter. So we'll be right here. Right back. We will be right here waiting for you guys at the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast.
Check out the show that's built on the MMA. From the UFC to extreme cage fighting, they got the fights covered. Check out the GSMC MMA podcast. Get the latest news on past or upcoming fights. Join us as we talk to and about some of the biggest names in the MMA, past, present, and future. When it's the fight game, there's just one show to check out. GSMCpodcast.com/MMA-podcast. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit GSMCpodcast.com for more info.
Welcome back to the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast, and for our final story of
not fun story.
No, not fun story. For the final story of today's episode, comes from the world of social media.
I like the way you said that.
What,
social media.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, okay. Well, the NFL Twitter account was hacked on Tuesday morning with a post saying that Commissioner Roger Goodell passed away. But the tweet was soon deleted after it was revealed that he was not actually. He didn't actually.
He was alive.
He was alive. Yeah,
alive and well.
Yeah.
To the, I'm sure, distaste of many of those who do not like Roger Goodell. Like, oh man. I love Roger Goodell.
What's his name on Swiper on the Door Express? Oh man.
Yeah, I love Roger Goodell, man. I don't get that. I mean, there's been issues with the time he's the NFL and the time he's been commissioner, but I like Roger Goodell. I don't have issues with him. I'm a fan of Roger Goodell. I would have been very sad to hear that he passed away.
Yeah, it's sad to hear anyone pass away.
That's not a really good good thing to joke about.
Yeah, exactly. Like he was like the latest public figure to be in the Twitter hoax.
Yeah, you could have done so much more if you hacked the NFL site, Twitter.
Yeah, and then exactly.
Oh man, Andrew Luck agreed to a $400 million contract.
I'm surprised they didn't have any more fun like that.
Mm-hmm. I just don't get it. Like that's, I don't see.
Right. There's so many other things they could have. Exactly. There's so many other things they could have tweeted about and have fun with it.
Mm-hmm. And I saw that. I didn't see it when it happened because I do follow the account.
Actually, I didn't see when it happened.
But either. I saw it not long after it happened on a different website.
Yeah, saying, I read multiple web
I must have just missed when it happened too because I probably was on Twitter and then it wasn't on Twitter and then I saw it not long after that. You know what I mean? So I might have even been on Twitter when it happened. I just wasn't going through my timeline or anything. But that's not something that's super super funny. That's something that's not cool, man.
I think what I thought was funny is that Goodell actually kind of he played with it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I think he was at a golf tournament with Jim Kelly, and then he had I'm not sure if it was an Instagram post or Twitter post, but he say, when you leave for one day and your network never tries to kill you. I was like, oh. So yeah, he was a good sport about it.
That's one thing he's always seemed to be like is a good sport. He's always he's gotten the short end of a lot of sticks with the focus on the concussion stuff and kind of being blamed for a lot of stuff. I've always thought he had a good attitude towards a lot of the things thrown at him.
Yeah, especially with the Deflategate kind of, see his role in that.
Mm-hmm. I thought he's done a lot of good stuff for the NFL, and I think he's always been a good sport about stuff.
Yeah, I think the thing is with the CTE studies coming out, CTE studies coming out. I think that's kind of why he's getting kind of like a bad rap.
Yeah, just I mean,
just based off that.
People just don't like a lot of stuff he does. They think he has too much power and so on and so forth. And he is the commissioner, so. And one thing I always love is he always gets booed when he walks out for the draft and all that stuff.
I know.
And I like this year, he was like, "Oh yeah, bring it on," waving his hands like, "Oh, you just give it to me now."
Yeah, and I remember when the NFL season almost got locked out in 2011.
Yes,
I believe it was. Yeah, I remember he got booed on that draft. And
that's when it really started.
That's when I think that's when he really started to get hated a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I think he gets a lot of bad rap for stuff. So glad he's not. Glad that's not true.
Yeah, glad he didn't.
Glad
perish.
he's alive and well.
Yeah, glad he didn't perish, but he's alive. Yeah,
I guess that's the way of saying it.
Yeah,
but
go vocabulary word. Yeah.
Vocabulary word of the day: perish. You guys can define it on your own. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, no, we're. It's not our job to be Sesame Street here. No.
Do they do words of the day?
I don't know, but I know they do like the letter thing. When they have like two sides, they're like, "Hey, apple," something like that. Remember? Yeah.
I didn't really watch that.
Dude, you never used to watch Sesame Street?
Well, even if I did, I was young. I don't remember. That's a long time ago. That's
I think the last time I watched Sesame Street was like 6. I was like 6. Yeah.
It's been a long time for me.
It's been a long, long time. Yeah.
I told you I like Rugrats.
Oh, yeah. You said that during the break. Yeah.
That was my show,
we were talking about our favorite shows. Yeah.
But yes, like I said, all happy that he's doing okay. But we're going to go ahead and get out of here today. That's all we have for you. You have any fun plans for the day? You gonna watch the NBA Finals tonight?
I'll actually be at my other job.
Okay.
Yeah, so I will be watching it during that because it's actually at a TV station. So.
Oh well, there you go. All right, man. Well, for those of you who are watching and joining Jeremiah in that indulging of the NBA Finals, have a fun time watching, and you guys have a good rest of your day. Over here at the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast, we'd like thank you for listening. You can follow us on Twitter at the GSMC_football podcast. You can find us on Facebook at the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast, as well as on our website at gsmcpodcast.com. Like, subscribe, download, tell your friends about us.
Tell your friends to tell a friend to tell another friend.
Tell your mom because she's going to tell all her friends. You know how that works. So just keep checking out all our shows as well with the Golden State Media Concepts Network. We have great shows, whether you're into sci-fi, movies, baseball, sports in general. Fantasy football for those of you who listen to this show and like to play that sport as well. There's television. We have some up-and-coming shows for fashion and travel. We have a relationship show, weird news, social media news, health and wellness. I would say fitness, health and wellness.
I think it's health and wellness.
Yeah, and a music show because who can't have a music show?
And don't forget to tune into the baseball podcast on Thursday.
Yes,
I will be hosting it. Yeah. Oh yeah, tomorrow. I will be hosting it with
my co-host and the sports podcast, Ben.
Yeah.
We have the two hosts of that show coming at you guys. If you listen to the sports podcast and listen to this podcast, it'll be like the same thing, just minus me. So maybe not as good.
Oh, but no, it'll be better. I'm kidding.
Okay.
I'm kidding.
Well, on that note, Jeremiah and I have to have a talk. So we will see you guys later.
We're going to go outside. I'm kidding.
And we will see you guys on our next episode. Be good out there, followers, and we will see you guys on the flippity flip.
See you on the flippity flip.